Well, happy new week. It is Monday. It is the 24th of March. The 24th of March, 2K13. Hello, this is Wayne. 14. Did I say 13? 2K14. I don't even know what year it is. Okay, it's Monday, the 24th of March, 2K14.
Yes,
This is, I guess I know who we are. This is, who are we?
Wayne Goldsboro Television.
It's like
Thank you for being with us.
Like we had a weekend or something there.
Can you imagine?
I can't get it going today. Yeah, Wayne Goldsboro Television. Hello, I'm Wayne Alley, I think.
And I'm Kim Best, I know.
Hi there.
That was a tough morning.
Oh, it was. How was your weekend?
It was excellent.
I am telling you.
Excellent.
We had a couple of days we were away from here, Thursday and Friday, but we're back today, and oh boy.
That's right.
You know, last week, I've got to mention this, the ECA, that's, they work closely with our Cooperative Extension Service, had a soup and sandwich luncheon, and man, it was good.
Was it good?
Oh, it was last Tuesday, I guess.
Were y'all at the Wayne Cooperative Extension?
We were at the Wayne Center, Wayne Cooperative Extension Office, and boy, it was good.
They always have nice functions out there.
They do. Ran into Jimmy Ford out there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I didn't hurt him though. He's okay.
You ran into him?
Yeah, he's okay. But
good for Jimmy.
Always good to see Jimmy Ford.
It sure is.
And a whole bunch of other people too. It was just a good turnout.
Nice crowd.
It was a good crowd.
What was the focus?
The focus was to draw attention to the ECA.
Okay. I guess it did that.
And I'll tell you in just a little while what that means.
Please do.
Okay.
Well, actually, on today's show, Mr. Wayne.
Who's on today's show?
We have someone once again reading from the library.
Oh boy, good.
And then we have, do you know, George from the Fish Fry.
George Rasher.
George is he from the Shriners?
George is, in fact, I mentioned this when I was talking to him. Yeah, he's a Shriner. He was 20 years in the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
21 years with the Sheriff's Office. He
oh, my
was
goodness.
Major Rasher. And then he's been, for years, he's been with the Shriners. In fact, he is with not just the Wayne County Shriners, he is with the Sudan Shriners, which is all the shrine clubs east of I-95 here in North Carolina.
They're the ones that drive the little trucks and cars and all the parades.
That's the Wayne Shriners, but he is working for the Shriners out of New Bern.
Okay, absolutely.
They're based in New Bern, and he covers the entire eastern half of North Carolina, just about. So anyway,
they
George
do
will be
some
with
mighty
us.
good things.
Yes, they do some wonderful things. We'll touch on some of that about what they do, but we're going to be talking about the Shriners Fish Fry coming up, and I can't wait. That's one of my favorite events.
So you're going to tell us the date and the time and the locations and all that?
Yes, indeedy. Yeah, you're going to hear all about it.
It just makes my mouth start to water.
I'm telling you, I'm all ready.
They do have the best fish, don't they?
They do.
Oh, my goodness.
It's whiting, but it's the way they fix it is really, really good. It's whiting.
And they've done it a time or two.
Oh,
just a time or two.
Just a time or two, yeah. Gee whiz. In fact, I ate twice that day.
I remember you telling me that. One time you ate in and one time you drove through?
Well, I ate for lunch and then I go back for dinner, yeah.
That's all right.
But it's so
you can have fried twice in one day for a good cause.
It is for a good cause. It's for the
is.
Shriners. And the Shriners, this particular fish fry is for the Shriners to help them with their many projects that they conduct here in Wayne County. Right. This is not for the Children's Hospital. That one is in October. But this one, it helps them stay in touch with the community and keep their many projects. They work on other things besides the Children's Hospital, too. But we'll tell you more about that in just a few minutes.
Sounds good.
Oh, boy.
Makes me hungry.
I'm telling you. Woo!
So what's coming up? You got anything special about today?
Well, about today, if you want to know about today, back in this day in 1958, the U.S. government lost $500,000 in tax revenue.
Oh my goodness, why?
Well, because they drafted Elvis.
Oh.
They drafted Elvis.
I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah, think about it like that.
He had a huge economic impact.
He did. We lost $500,000 in tax money because he became government property. That
tells you what a singer can do.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Wow, my goodness. He had a massive following anyway.
He did. And I'm an Elvis fan, I admit it, and I loved Elvis. He was great.
And you were disappointed that you couldn't go see him in concert.
Yeah.
Or he wasn't making any music.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah. Anyway, that was 1958. Bob Mackey's having a birthday today, the fashion and costume designer.
Oh, yes.
6 Emmy Awards, 3 Academy Award nominations, and he's got a list of clients you wouldn't believe. He's 74 years today. Robert Carradine is the son of John and brother to David and Keith Carradine. Robert is 60 today, the actor is. Also 60 today is Donna Pescow Anyway, she was on Police Woman, Saturday Night Fever, Glory Years, and Angie. Donna is 60 today. Laura Flynn Boyle.
Absolutely.
All right, that pretty lady is, of course, in The Practice, Twin Peaks, and Threesome, Wayne's World, woohoo, and Dead Poets Society, and a bunch of other stuff. She's 44 today.
Still a young pup.
Still a young pup. I'm just a child.
Yeah,
I'm
just a
telling you.
child.
And one of my favorite all-time actors, and I have several, but
Yes,
this
you
was
do.
one of my favorites. The late Steve McQueen.
Oh, you said him several times.
Yeah, he is. He's Mr. Cool. He was born this day in 1930. Died at the age of 50.
Oh gosh, that was young.
That was horrible. And of course, everybody remembers him from Bullet, The Great Escape, The Magnificent Seven, and of course, every day at 5 a.m., Wanted Dead or Alive comes on TV.
And you watch it.
Of course. Oh, you better believe it. Yeah.
Because you're up at 5.
Oh yeah.
Always.
The day's half over at 5 o'clock. Yeah.
For some people.
For some people, yes, it is. Anyway, those are birthdays and all that stuff for today.
Well, if it's your special day, have a happy, happy birthday.
Yes, yeah. There you go. Okay.
I believe it's time to go to our interviews. Let's go find out about some fish fry.
Today we're talking with George Racer. George's been with us many times before. It's always great to have you in the studio with us, George. How you doing?
Good, doing real good, Wayne. Thank you. Thank you
Good.
for having me over here.
With the Sudan Shriners, the Wayne County, well, in fact, you're with the Sudan Shriners.
Yes.
So you, in your position, you represent an enormous area, not just Wayne County.
Right. I was elected as a recorder for Sudan Shriners in January, and our jurisdiction runs from the Virginia border down to South Carolina, east of 95.
East of 95. So anybody who's a Shriner east of 95 in North Carolina is a Sudan Shriner.
Yes.
And based in?
We're based out of New Bern.
Out of New Bern.
We have 40 shrine clubs, 40-some parade units. That goes up and down as people join and leave, but pretty busy activity.
Well, you are a busy guy, being the recorder for that entire area. Now, what does a recorder do for the Sudan?
Actually, I'm the operations officer for the temple. That's a title given to the Shriners for the man that is the recorder. I do all the minutes for the meetings, correspond with each of the clubs on different matters.
Right.
I have a fantastic office staff down there in Sudan. I have 3 ladies down there that really take the ball, and they know what they're doing, and it makes my job easy, real easy.
That's nice.
So,
that's great.
The ladies handle the membership, people paying their membership. We have one lady dedicated to handling the business with the children. She's the hospital children's coordinator, and she coordinates any activities with the patients, with our hospitals. We're taking patients now to Greenville, South Carolina, Cincinnati, Ohio for burn type injuries, Philadelphia for spinal injuries, and we have a couple patients, one patient here in Wayne County that's going to Philadelphia.
Wow.
And we also have some patients going to Montreal, Canada.
My goodness.
For the brittle bone disease.
International. We're
Right.
going international. Now, and that's from Wayne County. Is that right?
Yes. We have a patient from Wayne County going to Montreal.
Wow. Now, there's 22 Shriners hospitals across the country.
That's correct.
All right. And then you add in Canada and other locations like that. It's a big operation and has been for many years.
Yes, it has.
Now, for those of you who may think this man looks familiar, he may look familiar to you because you were in the Air Force here for 20 years.
Yes.
Or you were in the Air Force for 20 years, and
Yeah.
you ended up here.
Yes.
He was also with the Wayne County Sheriff's Office for 21 years or so.
That's
and
correct.
that's why he looks so familiar to you.
All right.
But now your time is taken with the Shriners, and that's what you do.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love working for the cause that we're out there doing.
Yeah. What is the cause of the Shriners? What is your main purpose?
Our focus is to help those children that have orthopedic problems, burns, cleft lip palate, brittle bone disease, spinal cord injuries. And the emphasis we give is, we used to be able to say a word free. It's not free. The Shriners Hospital now accepts insurance. That program has really helped us financially. And over the past year, our patient load has increased all over the United States with new patients.
Well, given the economic climate across the nation now, it's certainly understandable why the Children's Hospital would now be in a position to accept insurance.
Right.
Thank goodness for that, because healthcare is not cheap. It's
No, it's
not
not.
inexpensive. It's quite expensive, and anything that anyone can do to help is certainly greatly appreciated.
We spend 1.4 million plus every day out of our hospitals.
Every day,
Every day,
$1.4 million
$1 million
plus. If someone wanted to make a donation, could they do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they can make a donation.
I'm going to leave you some contacts.
Okay.
You can post up there, and people want to make a donation directly to Shriners Hospital for Children, or through the local Shrine Club here in Goldsboro.
Okay.
The endowments, we have people, wills, endowments, estates that really help out the hospitals a lot.
The bottom line, though, is that you're helping children. You mentioned cleft palate, you mentioned orthopedic problems, and you're not in a position. In fact, I know you do not look at someone's income or their bank account to say,
Right.
well, we're going to help this child if.
No,
You take a child unconditionally.
the if is not there. We're going to fix the child, get that little patient back to being a kid,
Yeah.
and get them back to being a normal child as much as we can. We go as far as real severe cases like a burn injury. The hospital might even send a team of specialists to the school to talk to the class and the teachers about how we got to treat this child so they don't develop a complex. They work with the family. The bottom line for taking care of the children is, regardless of how much it costs or what the bill is, there's no bill. Regardless of what the cost, the Shriners Hospital is going to take care of the child.
That's any child.
Any child up to the age of 18.
Up to age 18. What gets me, George, is that it's amazing to me that you offer this, no questions asked. A child is taken to, free of charge, the child is picked up by a roadrunner,
Right. Sudan Roadrunner.
a Sudan roadrunner, and taken to the hospital with a guardian,
Right.
or parent or guardian or whomever, without questions asked, unconditionally. The child is treated. What gets me is that you have to look for patients. I've actually seen you and some of the other Shriners actually go out and say, look, we need patients here.
Yeah, we do.
I would have thought your doors would be knocking down. I would have thought.
The patient load, like I just said a minute ago, is picked up.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. The Greenville Hospital had a increase in patients, pretty significant increase in numbers in 2013. I believe the number's like 16%.
Wow, that's a big jump.
The surgical procedures increased at the Greenville Hospital to the tune where they just assigned another surgical doctor to come to Greenville Hospital to work in the hospital. They're doing surgery. They're doing surgeries even on Friday now. So
Wow.
the patient load is getting higher. Care is better. The state-of-the-art equipment is at our hospitals. A real highlight of the last couple of years, and a lot of people don't know this, is the Shriners Hospital is now working with Wounded Warrior,
Oh, are you really?
and they are
Wonderful.
working with Wounded Warrior, helping with prosthesis and the burn.
Right.
There's a past potentate, Maxwell, who's the CEO for the hospital, has met with Pentagon officials on several occasions,
Right.
and we are really contributing to the Wounded Warrior. That's if you could see some of the film they've made and the progress, it's really heartwarming to see that we're helping our soldiers also.
I am a big supporter of the Shriners, and I believe in what you guys do. You're always doing something year-round. Now, twice a year, the Shriners offer a fried fish, a fish fry.
Right, yeah.
I'll get it out in a minute. See, I'm excited about this. A fish fry, and that's twice a year, the spring and the fall. And the spring is coming up because we're right here at spring, and it's April 4th, I believe, right?
That's right. This one's going to be for the Shrine Club here in Wayne County.
Right, for Wayne County. And the Wayne County Shrine Club offering the fish fry on April 4th. The proceeds from this particular fish fry will actually go to benefit the Shriners' many projects that they run outside the Children's Hospital.
Right. Our local projects, like we contribute to the cancer drives,
Right.
Little League baseball, different type of activities that might come up. We got to take care of that building out there and pay our bills.
Right.
But we do a lot of community work.
They do a lot of community work that you never hear about.
So
The Shriners are always doing something, always involved with something. And then in October, you have the big fish fry for the Children's Hospital.
that's the big one.
And that's the big one. But we want to support the Shriners and their many, many projects they conduct here in Wayne County. They do a wonderful job, and we will ask you to support the Shriners as well. Coming up the April 4th Friday from 11 till 2 and 4 till 7 p.m. You'll be able to take advantage of this fish fry here for only $7 a plate. And man, is it good. Is it $8 a plate? I'm sorry.
We had to jump it up because of the economics.
Aha, okay. All right. Well, I can understand that. You know, I just said this a minute ago. Things are going up in price.
$8.
So for $8 a plate, $8 a plate at 3 locations. One is at Herman Park Center, and that's where you can take your whole family or take your neighborhood and go in and sit down and eat and sit there and talk for a while, right?
Yep.
And enjoy it. Or you can drive through Herman Park.
Pick up at Herman Park.
Pick up at Herman Park, or you can drive through Mount Olive there on Highway 55 between 117 Business and 117 Bypass. Right next to Robert's Machine Shop, across from Mount Olive Center.
Yes, sir.
Now, most people know where these places are already, but there may be someone who is not familiar with those locations. But again, that's Mount Olive, across from Mount Olive Center, next to Robert's Machine Shop on Highway 55. And Herman Park and Herman Park Center, and you can eat in at Herman Park Center. $8 a plate, and I'll tell you what, it is good eating. In fact, I usually go and have lunch, and then I go back for dinner.
Let me hit on one subject before we close out, Wayne. Mount Olive Pickle Festival this year, we're going to do something we've never done before.
What is that?
We're trying to do patient screening, I'll say that again, patient screening clinics in our jurisdiction. We did one down in New Bern last year at the Mum Festival. In a matter of about 6 hours, we picked up 5 new patients.
Really?
We
that's
identified
wonderful.
small children that needed and qualified for care at our hospital.
Yeah.
So we're going to try it over here at Mount Olive Pickle Festival on April 26th from 10 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, 10 a.m. in the morning to 3 p.m. at the Mount Olive Pickle Festival. And what we're going to do, we're going to have these flyers. I left you one that you're going to post.
Right.
We've got them up, we're going to put them up around the county. Hopefully, parents or guardians will see that and come over there and say, maybe my child needs some help. And we have Goldsboro Pediatrics. A person from Goldsboro Pediatrics is going to be with us over there. Under the new HIPAA, or not new HIPAA laws, but the HIPAA laws, we can't give out names or talk to the patients ourselves, except to say, if your child needs some help, we're going to give you a card, an information card, and you can contact the Greenville Hospital and make an appointment to go down there. Some of the patients we had last October that we identified down in New Bern, they had appointments in Greenville within 10 days.
Wow.
So it's a very worthwhile project. I just came back from Florida, from Tampa, at a conference down there, and Minnesota and North Dakota had a big function right on the border, and they had patient screening. And that being a kind of a not highly populated area, they identified 30 patients in one day.
Oh my goodness.
That ended up getting treatment.
Wow.
So we're going to really blast this out to a lot of places, doctors' offices, over the air, newspapers, wherever we can do it, and hope we can pick up some new patients over there.
Okay, now you're hearing this. So let me tell you, if you know of a child or have a child who has any orthopedic conditions, that would include clubfoot, anything like that, right? Any kind of walking or anything
spinal
to do
problems,
spinal problems,
scoliosis.
like or perhaps you have a child who has a cleft palate or disfigurement of some sort of that nature. Then this again is going to be at the Mount Olive Pickle Festival. Look for the Shriners booth set up for that purpose.
Yes, sir.
All right. And again, we want to invite everyone to the Shriners Fish Fry coming up this Friday, or not this Friday, but Friday, April 4th, which is almost this Friday. Almost. Anyway, regardless of all that. Anyway, it's April 4th. Check your local calendar. Don't check your out-of-state calendar. It's wrong. Check your local calendar, April 4th, Friday, from 11 till 2 and 4 till 7 p.m. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Wayne, for all the help that you give us.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Hello, my name is Johnny Pippin, and I'm the head of the Reference Department at Wayne County Public Library. Today, we're going to read the children's book by Beatrice Potter, A Tale of Peter Rabbit. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sand bank underneath the root of a very big fir tree. "Now, my dear," said old Miss Rabbit one morning, "you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. Gregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He put in a pie by Mrs. Gregor. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out." Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to the baker's. She bought a loaf of bread and 5 currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. Gregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First he ate some lettuces and some French beans, then he ate some radishes, and then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. But round the end of a cucumber frame, whom should he meet but Mr. Gregor? Mr. Gregor was on his hands and knees planting out young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling, "Stop, thief!" Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages, and the other shoe amongst the potatoes. After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster, so that he'd think he might get away if he not unfortunately run into the gooseberry net, and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows, who flew to him in great excitement and implored him to exert himself. Mr. McGregor came up with a sieve when he intended to pop under the top of Peter, but Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him, and rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide in if it had not been so much water in it. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath the flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each. Presently Peter sneezed, "Kerchoo!" Mr. McGregor was after him in no time, and tried to put his foot under Peter, who jumped out of the window, upsetting 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired of running after Peter. He went back to work. Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright, and he had not taken the least idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp from sitting in that can. After a time he began to wander about, going lippity-lippity, not very fast, and looking all around. He found a door in a wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. An old mouse was running in and out over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Then he tried to find his way straight through the garden, and became more puzzled. Presently, he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his water cans. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it was best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. He went back towards the tool shed, and suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of a hoe. Scratch, 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 scratch. Peter scuttled underneath the bushes, but presently, as nothing happened, came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. His back was turned towards Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Peter got down very quickly off the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could go along a straight walk behind some black currant bushes. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and the shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running or looked behind him till they got home at the big fir tree. He was so tired that he flopped down on the nice soft sand of the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in the fourth night. I am sorry to say that Peter was not very well during the evening. His mother put him to bed and made some chamomile tea, and she gave it a dose to Peter. 1 tablespoon to be taken to bed. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread, milk, and blackberries for supper. The end. This book, A Child's Treasury of Beatrice Potter, does contain Peter Rabbit, and you can find this and more at the Wayne County Public Library.
We're back on WGTV. That's Wayne Goldsboro Television.
That's exactly right. That's
All
a
right.
partnership between the County of Wayne and the City of Goldsboro.
And you know, the next day or so, we're going to be talking about the Daffodil Festival.
That's
It's going to
right.
be coming up
I think
very
they'll be on the
soon.
show tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's tomorrow.
That's right. When
So-
is the festival? Oh, it's March 29th.
March 29th. Yeah, this weekend.
That's right.
Is that this
Fremont,
weekend?
North Carolina.
Next weekend. This weekend.
Fremont, North Carolina.
Yes,
Yeah,
this weekend. All right. Yeah, today's the 24th.
That is a nice
Fourth.
little festival. It
It
really is. They've
It
done
is.
a fantastic job through the years.
And Keith Stewart's going to be our guest tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, so
Well,
can't
guess
wait
what
to
else is this
hear about
weekend?
that. What is this weekend?
Friends of Seymour. They're having their big gala out at
Oh,
Walnut
yeah,
Creek.
yeah.
If you haven't gotten your ticket, you can certainly get one by calling Wayne County Chamber of Commerce. You know the number right offhand, Mr. Alley? I'm sure
Chamber
you
of
do.
Commerce, 919-734-2241.
There you go.
There you go.
Their keynote speaker will be General Stephen Quast, who was used to be the wing commander here at Seymour Johnson.
My hero.
And they'll have lots of other things happening, but it's all a fundraiser for the Friends of Seymour. If you want to find out more information, visit Wayne County Chamber of Commerce or give them a call. It's this Saturday night, 6 o'clock p.m., Walnut Creek Country Club.
There you go. All right. I took the liberty of
Yes.
getting some information from the Arts Council here.
Good.
They've got a bunch of stuff coming up very soon. An affordable summer fun for kids. They've got a summer art camp coming up.
Yes, they
and
do. It is a fabulous art camp. They have it every year.
I know, and I love this thing. They do so many things. I'm not going to go into details now because it doesn't start until June.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm just getting you
Just
ready
good
for
to
that.
know, though.
Right.
Good to know.
Something very serious here.
Mm-hmm.
On May 3rd, and I mention it now so that you can either mark it on your calendar or get ready for it because it's going to take place in Wilson.
Okay.
If you are hard of hearing or want someone in your family is hard of hearing, this is very important. There's going to be the North Carolina Division of Services for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing going to have an event coming up May 3rd in Wilson at Wilson Medical Center Auditorium with Steve Barber of the Hearing Loss Association of North Carolina and Philip Woodward, Communications Project Manager for the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Communications. Learn what the Americans with Disabilities Act means for you. You can experience hearing loop technology,
Wow.
and you can share your experiences and concerns with other individuals who have hearing loss. This is big. This is big
And
for
who is
anyone.
sponsoring this?
This is from the North Carolina Division. Yes, that's one of them right there. North Carolina Division of Services, the North Carolina Assistive Technology Program.
Wow.
The Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Services for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and some others as well.
Wow.
Anyway, this is going to be, the space
Wilson.
is limited to 50 people, so if you want to know more about this, you can go to the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.gov website, ncdhhs.gov
Sometimes I wonder if I need to
website.
go.
Well, you know, hard of hearing, people don't realize that becoming hard of hearing is a gradual thing.
Right, right.
And you don't realize it until sometimes it's too late. You're there.
Exactly.
So-
And that's all about up-and-coming technology, ways to help you
Yeah,
and your loved ones
That's
continue to
exactly
hear better and better.
that's exactly right.
All right, well, Mr. Alley, I believe that may be all for today.
That's it?
That is it, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a quick show.
It was quick. Where's the time gone?
I don't know, but
Oh,
I'm still hungry from the fish fry.
Where's my watch gone? Oh, anyway. Yeah, I know, thinking about that fish fry. Anyway, let's do this again tomorrow. We'll be here at 7 o'clock, and then it repeats at noon and 5:30, and then again during the evening, and I hope you're able to join us again tomorrow. Until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.